Hello everyone, I hope you're all having a fabulous day. Today I have a quick wear and tear on the Vuitton Alma BB. I was using this bag for the last couple of days and I had a lot of you ask if I can showcase how it's been holding up, considering I've had this bag for about a year and a half, if I'm not mistaken. So hopefully this video is helpful, especially if you're looking to add this item to your collection, or if you recently purchased it and you're just curious as to how it might end up holding up. Of course, everyone will experience wear and tear a little bit differently, especially if you end up rotating your bag quite often or if it's something that you end up using every single day. So I hope that you enjoy this video. If you do, make sure and give it a thumbs up. And without further ado, let's get started, shall we? When it comes to this bag, I have a tendency to lean more towards it in the fall and in the winter. Not saying that it wouldn't be a great year-round bag or that I haven't used it in other seasons, but because it's so carefree, I don't have to worry about water stains or anything like that, so I have a tendency to gravitate more towards it in those months. Now, I did want to touch base very quickly on Damier Ebene, just because I have had a lot of you guys ask questions specifically as to how that ends up wearing and what some people have experienced. There are a lot of threads on the Purse forum that talk about that, and that's in general. When it comes to Damier Ebene, it's known for wrinkling on the leather as well as peeling. And that's because it does have the color treated leather. So when it comes to the peeling, I've had some of you guys let me know that you've experienced the peeling coming through on the handles, especially if it's a bag that you end up using on the crook of your arm or if you end up using it as a hand carry bag. I personally have not experienced that just because I have a tendency to use this bag as a shoulder bag or as a crossbody bag, mostly because it does come with a detachable strap. But some of you have also not experienced that either. So I'm not saying that that's going to happen. It's just something to keep in the back of your mind. But the people that have told me that sometimes the coating that the Damier Ebene has will end up coming through on the handles here more than any other part of the bag. So I thought, again, I would just share the information just in case. But again, I have not experienced that. And as you can see, it's still pretty much in, I think it's in excellent condition considering I've had this bag for, as I mentioned, a year and a half. So I think it looks pretty good. So there's the front side and then there's the back side. No peeling on the handles whatsoever, and also some people have had the peeling come through on the not the interior, but on the inside of the handle here. And I also have not had any peeling throughout any other part of the bag, whether it has the leather or the canvas. All right. Now, as far as the wrinkling, again, because it does have that color treated leather, I feel that the wrinkling will end up being a little bit more noticeable the sooner or the more often that you end up using the item. Case in point, I do have a Keep All 45 bandolier in the Damier Ebene. It's a travel piece, and that thing on the strap has a ton of wrinkles, which is its normal wear and tear, so it doesn't bother me. But when it comes to the Alma BB, because of the detachable strap, I feel that you'll end up seeing the wrinkling a little bit more on this than on any other part of the bag. So I do have some wrinkling on the strap, mostly here by the D-ring. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it or not, or on the interior of the strap. There we go. So that little, it looks like little hairline wrinkles. I have that throughout the entire strap. So there we go. And of course, the more and more that I use this bag, the more and more that I end up using this strap, the more that I'll end up noticing that as time goes by. And so far, none of those wrinkles have turned into cracks. None of those wrinkles have caused any type of peeling or anything like that. And again, because it tends to sit mostly on my shoulder or as a crossbody bag, I do have the most noticeable amount of wrinkles in the middle of the strap. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it or not. Probably not. This is not good. This is not good. How am I supposed to show you how it ends up wearing if the camera is not helping me out? There we go. So there you can see it a little bit better. But again, I don't think it's too bad. There we go. So you have wrinkling mostly on the detachable strap. Now, as far as wrinkling on the bag itself, I do have a little bit on this part of the handle, not too bad. There you go. Maybe you guys can see it a little bit better if I move this part. There we go. And I feel that the reason why I have some wrinkles on here is because I do have a tendency to sometimes overstuff this bag. You guys know me, I have a tendency to overstuff all of my bags regardless of the size. And because the detachable strap ends up attaching to these parts here, if I have quite a bit of items in here, it causes a little bit more weight. So I feel that it ends up straining the handles a little bit more. So maybe that's why I have that wrinkling going on. I don't know, I'm just assuming. But still, I don't think it's too bad. For as long as I've had this item. Now, I do have a little line that kind of it's a little bit more prominent on camera. Do you guys see that little line there? That's just from this tab here on the interior. I feel that it ends up showing up a little bit more just because it does have that coating on the leather versus it being on a Vachetta item. But I still wanted to point that out. It wasn't as noticeable when I first got it, but of course as time goes by, you can really end up seeing it a little bit more. So there we go. Now where I have seen the most wear is actually on the hardware, and that's on the lock, on the zipper, and then on the feet. So I will go through those very quickly so you guys can check them out. And I did opt to leave the lock on this bag on where it goes. Some people do end up putting it on this little tab here or on either one of these, but for me I decided to leave it on. And because it does have the dual zippers, the zippers end up hitting up against the lock, so it causes this to have quite a bit of tarnish that you guys are going to be able to see right there. It doesn't bother me. It's just a characteristic of a lock. It's going to happen, especially because this bag, I've noticed that when I tend to use it, you know, crossbody, because of the shape that it has, it doesn't necessarily lay flat up against your body, but it's also not bulbous either. But I feel that it has a tendency to kind of do this. So of course, you'll be able to hear that lock a lot more, you know, and some people it drives them crazy. It can get somewhat annoying, you know, because it like clunks around, you know what I mean? But you can see the wear there, so not a big deal. Like I said, it doesn't bother me. Now the zipper, it's funny because usually when it comes to most of my bags, I have a tendency to leave them open. It just makes it easier for me to be able to retrieve my items. But when it comes to this one, I am constantly messing with the zipper, so I've had quite a bit of tarnish on the zipper itself. Hopefully you guys are going to be able to see that as well. So I have all of these little teeth here. They have quite a bit of tarnish on them throughout the entire zipper from this point to this point back here. There we go. And sometimes I like closing it up, sometimes I don't. It all depends on my mood, you know, especially if it's raining or anything like that. I just zip it up. So again, it's just normal wear and tear that's going to happen over time. And also, the zipper is really stiff. I thought it was going to loosen up a little bit more from when I first got it, because when I first got it, it was a little bit more stiff than this, but it's still pretty stiff. It's not like the smoothest zipper as some of the other Louis Vuitton bags have. But if I was to take this into the boutique, if they were able to put the wax, I'm sure I'd have no problem being able to zip it up and zip it down a little bit easier. But maybe that has also caused quite a bit of wear on the zipper itself. So there we go. And then another part of wear, as I mentioned, is on the feet. And you can see that they have quite a bit of tarnish. It goes from gold to kind of like blackish brown, and then a tiny bit of silver coming through on that brass, or on the gold hardware. So there we go. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see it or not, but it's a little bit noticeable. Not a little bit, it's a whole lot of noticeable when I see it. So there we go. If I can incorporate pictures, I'll snap pictures so I can show, you know, I could put it in the video so you guys can see it a little bit better. There we go. But any other parts of, you know, wear on the hardware? Not really. And I haven't had any issues with the D-rings here having any type of chipping or anything like that, considering, again, that I use this bag as a crossbody or as a shoulder strap. So I tend to use this quite a bit, but I have no wear on this whatsoever. Now I did get a couple questions on the luggage tag if it came with the bag. It did not. It actually comes with a little key bell. I opted to take off the key bell and I put the luggage tag just because I felt that it was a little bit more me. So as far as the exterior of the bag, I feel that it looks pretty good for as long as I've had it. You know, I have just the wear on the zipper, mostly on the lock if you end up leaving it the way that I do, and I also experienced it on the feet. But as far as the leather goes and as far as the stitching or anything like that, no problems whatsoever. I mean, I feel that the leather looks incredible. It looks almost like immaculate from the first time that I got it. So that makes me very happy as far as how it's worn. And again, not too much wear on the detachable strap either. Now, as far as the interior goes, I'm going to try to open it up so you guys can see it. I've had no staining. I've had no issues. You see those little sparkles? That's just glitter. I don't know how the glitter got in there, but knowing me, it's not a surprise. But yeah, no problems with that either. No fading. And it still looks as vibrant and as beautiful as it did when I first got it. So it's made me very happy. Now when it comes to some of the lighter small leather goods that I do end up having in my collection, I have a tendency not to use them inside of this bag just because Many years ago, I experienced where I put my Damier Azur piece inside of a Damier Ben bag, and I ended up having quite a bit of color transfer, and I had pink on the corners of that small leather good. So I'm a little bit more mindful as to the items that I end up using in here. I mostly tend to stick to canvas pieces, dark leather pieces, or even red pieces because it does have the beautiful red interior. But other than that, like I said, I've had no problems with staining, with any type of fading, or anything like that. And I don't really end up using this pocket too often either. I don't know. I think I've used it a few times for like ticket stubs or parking stubs, but other than that, nah, not really. But there we go. So all in all, as far as wear and tear goes for the year and a half or the year and 7 months that I've had this item, I'd say it looks pretty good. And again, it all depends on how often you end up using the item. And if you end up using it mostly as an everyday bag, you might experience a little bit more wear and tear. But if you end up rotating your bags quite a bit, this is just something that you might end up experiencing as well. So not too bad as far as wear and tear goes. And again, maybe I should take it into the boutique so they can do something about that zipper because because it does get stuck, and sometimes I'm like, I can't get into the bag. So it drives me crazy, but overall, I love this bag and I'm still enjoying it. And I've had a lot of you guys ask if I recommend it, and I think it's great. Again, if you want to go for something that's carefree, if you want to go something that's small, something that you can use multiple ways, that has a lot of versatility, I think that the Alma BB is a great bag. So that does it for the wear and tear video. I hope it was able to help. Again, if you guys are looking to add this item to your collection, or if you recently purchased it, hopefully I was able to give you a little bit of feedback on what you might end up experiencing or what you might expect. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already and you would like to, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the red button down below and hitting that bell so you're notified when I upload videos, which is anywhere from 2 to 3 times a week. And I will see you guys later. And as always, make it a fabulous day or not, the choice is yours. Have a great day.